Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another special episode. We're going to be talking about our favorite things about fall, all of our favorite fall stuff, including activities. We love going to pumpkin patches, so we'll be telling you a little bit about our pumpkin patch experiences. And then we're also going to be talking about some of our other favorite activities. Crystal's going to be baking some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies here to get into the fall season. And we're going to talk about making the best out of the fall season as well. First off, I'd like to introduce our fellow on the liner across from me. We have Jun.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Now, we also have Crystal.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the fall season. And your host for today is Steven.
That's right. I'm your host for this autumn episode. I'd like to say we're no experts, but we are not dummies. Without further ado, we are now on the line.
All right, before we get into the episode, just like a friendly reminder that you guys can use the chapters tab. If you just want to see Crystal go ahead and bake, then you can go skip right ahead to it. And also check out the other chapters of this episode.
So we're going to get straight into it. What's so special about fall? What are your favorite things about fall? And just to be clear, it isn't technically fall when this episode will be dropping. It will be hitting the autumn equinox officially on September 22nd. But anyways, what are your favorite things about fall? Personally, I enjoy the fall season only because the basketball season starts and I'm a longtime runner in fantasy basketball. So I get pretty excited when the fall time comes because then the draft comes and the whole season starts and we pursue this entire season of fantasy basketball. Let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah, for huge ducats, but I don't seem to ever. I kind of just lose money every year. Can't remember a time where I actually got my money back or won a surplus.
I've never actually gotten invited to a fantasy league, so kind of sad about that.
It's really fun. It's a great way to enjoy losing money while you watch sports. I'd like to say I haven't won many of them, but I have won at least a single one. We're running like what, 6 years, 7 years straight now. I won at least one.
And fantasy sports is good for people who don't really care much about sports either, because I've seen people who don't like know anything about sports or anything about say football or basketball, but then they have a fantasy team and then they end up seeing a game or catching a game or going to one in person. And they if they have like a player that's on that team, they kind of get revved up, and it's a good way to incorporate people who aren't that interested in sports, but also you can make it about something else besides the actual game. That's what makes fantasy sports really fun.
Is there a team that you guys like to follow, or just like every night, just watch who's ever on?
I think it largely depends on who ends up on my fantasy team. I'll end up watching the teams
Highly
revolving, like
connected.
the players who are on my team. It's a great way to really integrate yourself into the rest of the league. Trying to find out like different players and kind of like team characteristics when you're trying to find out all these players who are playing efficiently or inefficiently throughout the season.
I just say I try to watch more so any of the Chicago teams, whether it be football or basketball, and also try to watch the New York teams, but with certain things like NBA League Pass and stuff, those tend to get blacked out when you live in the area of the team that you want to watch. So that doesn't really help too much. And I think it's also funny when you do have, like Steve said, like whoever ends up on my team, I kind of root for them. So if like the Bulls are playing somebody, but I have like a couple guys on the other team, like I'll be kind of like, oh, okay, let's go Bulls. But I mean, let's let the other guy score. Let's have a good game. So it's always fun to kind of play that line because you got money. I got money on the line.
I don't even really. Well, I do like sports. I do like sports, and I feel like I can follow sports pretty much, but I don't know. I feel like I'm not that into it, but I do enjoy going to sporting events, like going to any game, basketball, football. You guys don't really
You
love.
guys
We
went
don't.
to a
We're not really into
WNBA game.
football.
That's a true. You enjoy at least going to the sports things. Otherwise,
Horse ball.
Yeah. What are you trying to
otherwise you're
say?
watching
Otherwise, what
WNBA.
else do you enjoy there?
Honestly, football games are really fun. We don't really go.
Never been to one
Pretty
live.
expensive, but
Yeah.
I like
Pretty
the idea
expensive.
of it. And also, like when you were in school, like college games and high school football games. I just love going to a good football game, repping your team, tailgating. I don't know, concession food. Say what you want about concession stand food, but concession stand food hits.
Yo, ballpark food is something else.
I want to go to a football game now, though.
Yeah, all of this starts like usually around October, September. So once these months start rolling around and it gets a little bit colder out, man, that's when you know fall's coming.
Speaking of cold weather, that's got to be my number one favorite thing about fall. We start getting colder. I am 100% a cold weather gal. I don't hate summer and I don't hate spring, but fall and winter, man, I love the weather. I'm like one of those people that always runs hot. Like Steven runs cold all the time, but it could be like 60 degrees outside and I'm like sweating. So I enjoy the good fall winter weather below 60.
It's I don't know, it makes everything outside slightly more enjoyable when it's cold, but it's not like rigid cold.
Something about waking up in the morning and you're like going to school or going to work. You walk outside and it's like a brisk wind hits you across the face.
Right across the face.
And I just smell the fall weather. Such a good time. And you see
Nice
outside, the
crisp
weather makes the
air.
leaves change. Everything is like a nice orange, yellow, or red. And it just feels cozy.
It seems like nowadays, like every season is like pushed back like a month. So like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the hot still continues until not until like way later into the fall season that you actually feel that kind of weather. And so it kind of throws everything off kilter just a little bit.
Christmas is during the fall, but we usually see snow. But now, since the weather has gotten pushed back, it's like really that it snows on Christmas now.
Yeah, it's like a February, January type thing, unfortunately. But what is a fall type thing? But what is a fall type thing is one of my favorite parts of fall is the kind of what I would like to call the return of the layers. Uh Mainly because I love hoodies and sweaters and anything that can cover myself up the most. Anytime where I don't have to show any parts of my body, that is my favorite time of the
Agreed.
year. When I can walk outside and have a sweater and even a jacket on top of that sweater, that is golden hour to me. But I also don't love super heavy jackets. So, because
Mm.
when you do the super heavy jackets, sometimes you just wear like a t-shirt underneath, and then when you go inside, boom, now it's summer again. So I love the layers, and that is my favorite part of fall. And any other kind of bigger guys understand when the layers come back, and that's when we put a smile on our face.
I love layers. I just don't like going outside with just skin exposed. It feels more cozy, comfy. Like, why would you want to wear shorts and a tank top when you could wear like sweatpants and a hoodie? So much nicer, so much more comfy. Also, fall fashion, amazing.
What I will say about sweater too is it kind of it is more acceptable to wear the same sweater like a couple days in a row than it is to wear the same t-shirt. So you don't have to have the most attentive, wardrobe. If you have a couple sweaters, you're kind of golden.
That's very true, though. I'm not going to be coming down on someone who's wearing the same sweater, like, I don't know, twice in the same week. But if I seen someone with the same t-shirt twice in the same week during the summer,
Where'd
they're
you
like, yo,
wear
you just wore that. Do you not have clothes or what?
I swear, I just cycled my laundry. It just came out first.
This is clean. Yeah, all right. But you can
Ooh.
do that with sweaters. Wear 'em
Sweater
multiple times a
weather.
week.
Sweater weather is the best.
All I am is a man. I want the world in my hand. I hate the beach.
I've learned to really like wearing like hoodies and basketball shorts. You know, when you get like that brisk air, but it's not too cold, like Jen mentioned, where you like need a thick jacket. I think it's pretty nice. You know, wear a hoodie, wear some basketball shorts. I feel so comfortable out there. But I do like wearing layers too, as well. Implementing some t-shirt, hoodie, and then like a light jacket, some sweatpants on or something out there. Man, I'm in my prime.
I have so many favorite things about fall. Also, like the best holidays, Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, fall is kind of
So good.
the introduction to holiday season. Fall season
Oh yeah.
is almost holiday season.
Oh my gosh, Halloween. I love me freaking Halloween. Dressing up, all the decorations, just decorating for fall. Look at this. Look at if you're watching the YouTube video, look at all these pumpkins. I feel
Look
10
at
times
it.
happier. It's just so nice. And also like Halloween movies, you could start bringing out your fall movies,
Harry Potter.
Thanksgiving. Nothing better than a Thanksgiving meal. There's so many good things about fall. I could go on and on and on for on and on forever. We also got engaged in fall. Jen's birthday's in the fall. Technically my birthday's in the fall. December
Hey.
9th.
Oh,
People would consider that winter, but
That's a winter
the
thing. Winter
the winter
teens.
equinox is not until December 22nd. So technically, I'm a
you in the
fall
Oh,
fall,
baby.
20
bro?
seconds.
I'm a fall child.
I also like the fall color palette. Maybe it's because of the bears and how I have more of a fondness for orange. But that's definitely my more color scheme, I would say. The fall Halloweenish color scheme. It's a good color scheme.
A little bit of green in there. A little bit of army green.
So along with the fall season rolling around, we like to enjoy some fall specific activities. We've gathered together some of our favorite activities to do in the fall. So here's Krista to tell you one of her favorites.
Number one favorite thing, visiting pumpkin patches. I feel like
Oh
they
yeah.
have these anywhere you live. Correct me if I'm wrong. Probably Google
California.
pumpkin patches. They have them in California. I've seen like influencers in LA drive to pumpkin patches, so I'm pretty sure they have pumpkin patches. Like even though they don't grow pumpkins there, I'm pretty sure they have like pumpkins shipped in and then the hay and they make some type of like makeshift pumpkin patch. But if you live in like the Midwest, you most likely have a pumpkin patch, like straight up pumpkins growing out of the ground. You can like slice them off the vine.
I love visiting pumpkin patches. If you don't have any in your area, I say it's worth researching to see if you can travel to some place too that has a pumpkin patch. You know, these pumpkin patches usually have, like Crystal said, whole like fields of pumpkins growing if you're in that area. If not, they usually have some like fall themed snacks and drinks, lattes, things like that, or even like some apple spice donuts. Those are pretty good. So I'd like to
Oh,
say, I'm not there for the food per se, but it is a great
It
addition to
is
the
some of the
pumpkin
best
patch.
parts.
It
Definitely some of the
definitely
best
is.
parts.
and like all pumpkin patches are not one and the same. Like even in Illinois, by around Chicagoland area, all different pumpkin patches in the area, they have different offerings. Like some of them are just straight up pumpkin patch, and they have like maybe a little gift shop. Some of them are like straight up full blown, like they got carnival
Yeah.
rides. They
What was
got
the one that
like
we went to? It was like more Halloween themed than anything.
Jack's
um
pumpkin pop up. Oh
Is that what
man.
it is?
And then we went into the little cornfield
mhm.
maze, and it was like a little 2x2 that we got lost in for like an hour. That was actually kind of
We gotta
terrifying.
show some pictures or clips from that because that place was really cool. It was like a fall installation in Chicago, and not only was it like a pumpkin patch, you could buy pumpkins there, but also they had like bars set up where they had like pumpkin beer and pumpkin drinks and a bunch of fun like activities. Like I think we played like a zombie brain game.
It's been a while since when we did actually go to that because I do remember being like, "Oh, we should do this TikTok thing," and I was like, "What is TikTok? And why do you keep
Oh yeah, that's
mentioning doing
right.
this TikTok thing?" We
It
didn't
was
end up
before
doing
TikTok.
anything with TikTok, but that's how long ago that trip was. But I do remember it was definitely a fun pumpkin patch to go to.
I really like Richardson Adventure Farm in Illinois. They have like zip lining, they have pumpkin
Oh,
throwing. Basically, they have this
how do you throw a
big
pumpkin?
tower. They have this big tower that's like built out of wood, and you have to climb like maybe would you say like 4 or 5 stories?
Yeah.
Wow,
And
exercise.
you literally carry a big old pumpkin. You buy like a pumpkin for $5. You carry it to the top of the tower, and then you look down, and there's like little tires on the ground, and like usually a car. You just chuck the pumpkin off the tower,
Oh,
Yeah, it's
and
actually
you
pretty
try
awesome.
to
wild.
get it on the car or like in the tires. Some people just chuck it because it's fun to just chuck a big old pumpkin and see it smash on the ground.
Pretty
That's
awesome.
pretty cool. You guys do it?
We
Yes.
did. I have a video. Insert right here.
I try to aim for the car every single time, as you can see. Yeah, right there.
Oh.
At Richardson's Adventure Farm, they got like the fall goodies too. Not only do they have the apple spice or apple cider donuts, they also have pumpkin donuts and they have fresh corn. And they have this big vat of butter. And they literally, you could buy a whole corn on the cob and they ask you if you want it dipped in butter. And they freaking dip it in the vat of corn and then they hand it to you. And it's so good.
Yeah, I'd like to say I know that place because of its sweet corn. It's so good. Richardson's is, I guess, pretty well known because it's the biggest corn maze, like
The
in entire
world's
state?
largest.
The world. All right, so yeah,
That's what they
Richardson's
claim.
actually known for the
Wow.
world's largest corn maze.
Okay.
I
And they
think it's
usually
like-
have like pictures up. I think last year or like a couple years ago, they had, it was when the Blackhawks won the Stanley Cup. So like a few years
Damn.
ago, they had their corn maze themed as like the Blackhawks. And then they also have this corn maze like of like Frankenstein and
It looks like this year it's 60 years of James. Who the heck is James?
James.
Maybe it's the founder of Richardson Farm.
James Richardson.
But it does
pumpkin
say world's
patch.
largest. Oh, 60 years of
Oh,
James
giant peak.
Bond.
Oh, so this year's
Oh.
James Bond
007.
very nice.
And you're not only like just going through this corn maze trying to get from one end to the other. They have like usually like games that you can play where they have like markers within the corn maze and then you have to like kind of stamp where you've been and the stamp is at those markers. So they make like a pretty good activity out of it.
World's largest though. Be careful. But yeah, like this pumpkin patch has, like Crystal mentioned, they have all the food options. They have a giant zip line that goes across the entire field. They also have tractor rides, hay rides. They have
Pig races.
spots. They have pig races. They have spots where you can kind of rent out a table and a fire pit and then, grill and do your own thing over there. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, all these different pumpkin patches have a lot of different activities. Jack's pumpkin patch was more of like an IG spot. For the Instagram, you go there, you take some pictures. They got some really nice lights. They got a bar. You can hang out with your friends and lounge around, things like that. But it's also a pumpkin patch. So, I say, one of my favorite fall activities definitely is also going to pumpkin patches.
Would you say that apple season is more in the summer, or am I getting that wrong? Is it also in the
Like
fall?
apple picking season?
I would consider it fall because I think typically apples aren't ready to be picked until like mid to end September.
September. Nice.
So I think it would be considered a fall.
Yeah.
But I love going to apple orchards too.
Apple orchards are fun
Pumpkin
going
or
to as
apple?
well.
You have your choice. Which one do you pick?
I'd say earlier on in the fall season, I like to go to the apple orchards. Definitely, not only because it's like in season around the earlier time of fall, but also that's when like the transition of like brisk to cool weather starts rolling around. You get to the apple orchard and it's nice and breezy, a little bit colder than you're used to. That's just I guess usually the time that I go. So I like to say earlier in the month or earlier in the season, I like to go to apple orchards. And then the closer we get to Halloween or like even after Halloween, I like to go to pumpkin patches more.
I would say I agree, but I think overall, if someone was about to push me off a cliff and they're like, "You must choose one, or I will push you and you would die,"
Oh,
I would pick pumpkin patch because I feel like there's a lot more going on typically. But apple orchards are pretty fun. You can pick apples, you bring them home. Steven and I went to so many apple orchards one year that we just had a big old bowl full of apples in our fridge, and every morning we would eat one for like, I don't even know, like 5 weeks straight.
we literally had like 3 10-pound bags of fresh apples. For what reason? I have no idea.
They
haven't had to go
surprisingly
to the
stayed
doctor
fresh.
That's why I haven't gone to the doctor.
yet.
I like a pumpkin farm though, because you can pick a pumpkin, bring it home, carve it, and you're like closer to Halloween. Good time. What about you, Jen? You've been to your fair share of both.
I want to say I've been to what, like maybe 2 apple picking places, and
Apple
then
orchards.
the only pumpkin. Well, I mean, the only pumpkin thing where I went were actual pumpkin stuff, like I did just like for fun, was that one time. And but I've been to pumpkin patches for like where like they'll have like a news anchor like stand in the pumpkin patch and be like, "Hey, it's pumpkin patch season, guys. Make sure you check out your local pumpkin patch." And those places are really cool too. They have a nice vibe to them. I think that's what I would pick. Is that I feel like the apple picking stuff, like it's just like that's the thing. Pumpkin patches, like they usually have like extra stuff. At least I feel like,
Other
and
Yeah.
more stuff
activities.
because they theme it with other something else. Apple orchards
Yeah.
just this is apple orchards. You either like our donuts or you don't. Walk away or not. So I will pick the pumpkin patch.
Highly recommend Bengtson's Pumpkin Farm if you're in Illinois.
They've got food trucks. They've got like giant slides. There's even like a pretty sizable petting zoo in there.
They got
Um,
roller coasters. They
they
got
have
carnival rides.
they also have some like installments of like a live band made out of like skeletons and a witch flying around. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, don't
I
get that
like
in
the
apple
vibe.
orchard.
The vibe of Bengtson's Pumpkin Farm is like Halloween Town. It feels like a little Halloween town. I like pumpkin farms because it
That
has like
place is
feels like a
huge.
whole another world. Apple picking, you're just in nature and you're on a farm picking. Pumpkin
Man
patches
nature.
typically
Man nature.
lean Halloween town, like a full on new experience.
Fully immersive Halloween experience.
Yeah.
Jump onto the tractor rides. Some pumpkin patches also have like large scale bonfires at night. That's pretty cool. So it's like just this massive bonfire going on in this open field.
Now that I could talk about pumpkin patches and apple orchards for like an hour straight, what else? What are your guys' favorite fall activities?
Well, to bring us from the outside world into the warm and cozy inside world, one of my favorite fall activities is, new game gaming. So essentially, when all the new games
That
release,
Yeah.
Madden has been out for a while already. NBA 2K doesn't come out for another month. You got Call of Duty that comes out. Although Battlefield always sucks every year, you get the new Battlefield. So there's always the new games and you get to just try it out and everyone's like, this is the new thing, this is going to be so great. And so everyone plays it, it's fun. And then, after that it tapers off as it goes. So the fall is like the most fun time for new video games because they're all new. And that is one of my favorite parts of fall for sure.
that's fun. I didn't realize they released at a certain time.
All like
Kind of like
right before
TV
the
shows.
holiday
All the good
season.
ones. All of
Right
the
before
good
the
ones,
holiday
yeah.
season, so that like around
They
Christmas
ask for
time
it,
for all
yeah.
those losers that don't have the game yet. You gotta
Do
ask your
they
parents for it for Christmas.
like for games that are already out? Do they do like updates all in the fall too?
Not really. It's more for like the new season stuff because I feel like other games that do have updates usually update throughout the year.
Fortnite did this update where they had like it was kind of annoying, but like when it first came out, it was kind of cool. They basically like ran through the entire map and added like zombie spawns and like things flying around and like a
Yeah,
lot of like
Halloween stuff.
pop-up scares. So like that was pretty cool because like Fortnite integrated that into their map. Like some games make some updates, but mostly like new seasons would start. So everything resets and you can earn like more rewards around this time.
Thing.
Yeah,
Or I guess
holidays
Interesting.
definitely make
rewards.
updates better. The holidays they just have like special themed kind of updates, and
Like
the fall
skins.
season is that introduction to the holiday season. So that's what makes it kind of great.
But I feel like because games come out typically like around the fall season and then also like school starts, I feel like around the fall time, like around these months is when I'm like peak, when I'm like talking to my friends or like hanging out with my friends and socializing, stuff like that. Cause like I would go to school and I'd see my friends. I haven't seen them like all summer. So we're getting back on track. We're building traction again. And then we're hanging out and talking and it's all fun. And then same thing when I go home, like I turn on a new game, everyone's on because it's the newest thing. And I'm hanging out with my friends online too. So I feel like around the fall season, it just so happens that like I feel like I'm more interactive and more social with my friends than ever before throughout the year.
And as you guys know, based on our last episode, one of my favorite fall activities is going back to school. It is
No.
so much fun. I love learning and I love reading and I love books. If you want to hear more
Oh my
And
about
gosh.
school, you can check out our previous episode.
I literally just finished my summer courses and I get like a 2.5 week break. Thank you.
At
Uh,
release,
so
your
I
break
will
is over.
actually be back in school soon. Another activity that I like to do indoors. I'm not much of a gamer. I do play Valorant
hey,
once. I played once, maybe twice.
I think she meant to
But
say Radiant one.
coming home and having a nice movie night with fall movies, nothing better. Halloween movies.
What do you consider? Okay, a Halloween movie is a fall movie.
Yeah, also just like fall movies that happen in the fall. Like When Harry Met Sally.
Big.
Big is a good one.
Big?
Big is like a
I feel
kind of a
like that's the
Christmas.
summer.
No, they
I
have the
feel
Christmas
summer with
party.
that. Doesn't he go
They
to
have the
like
Christmas
the boardwalk?
I
party.
feel like he's like walking home and then he transitions, spoiler alert, back into a kid. It's
I
like
didn't
Fall.
watch
leaves,
it yet.
the leaves like flying across the street also turn colors. Fall.
Mostly Halloween movies. Like the movie that gets me into the fall mood is Practical Magic. I've talked about it on this podcast before. I don't need to talk about it anymore. But Practical Magic,
Oh,
A1.
this movie just dropped. By the time this episode releases, this movie had just dropped. Hocus Pocus 2. They are back. And the Sanderson sisters are up to no good. I actually have no idea what.
I'm so excited.
I have no idea what's going on in this movie.
The away.
It could be up to really, really good. Who knows? But there's nothing like watching a Halloween movie at home with some fall goodies. Luckily, I have Crystal next to me who enjoys baking.
Fall
Baking.
baking. Honestly, baking in the fall and winter is the best because it's cold, so you would prefer like a warm baked good. Baking fall tasting items like a pumpkin loaf.
In the past, Crystal's made some banging. I'm telling you, banging pumpkin chocolate chip muffins. They are so good.
Oh, those were good.
They have since been retired, but Crystal does have something for us on this special episode. She is going to be baking some pumpkin for you. What are you going to be baking for us?
I'm making some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies.
Hey.
Pretty easy recipe, and I'm going to show you guys how to do it. So let's get into the baking part of this podcast.
Chip cookies.
You want this nice unsalted butter. We're gonna keep this nice and room temp, so it's a little more softened. Brown sugar. This is the key to texture and everything like that. Maybe it's not, but I am just gonna say it. White sugar, not just any white sugar, granulated white sugar. This is gonna be as sweet as pumpkin pie. Vanilla extract. Beautiful, beautiful taste. Then we have our single egg. Yeah, we like to keep it free range in this kitchen and with all of you guys. The pumpkin puree. Some people say this is the cornerstone of what makes this a pumpkin chocolate chip cookie. Also, our all-purpose pre-sifted flour, our salt. Such people think that salt is just for savory things, but salt can really bring out the sweetness of a cookie for sure. Baking soda. And no, we're not talking about that kind of baking soda. We're talking about the cool cooking baking soda. Next, we have pumpkin pie spice. This is another keystone in making this such a nice popping pumpkin flavored cookie. And then we have our chocolate chips. Our chocolate chips, we have semi-sweetened chocolate chips and also Ghirardelli. You have Ghirardelli chocolate chips as well. Not only do you need baking soda, you also need baking powder. Because what is soda without a little bit of powder?
Thank you, Jun, for introducing all the ingredients and items that we need to start off this recipe for pumpkin chocolate chip cookies is by preheating the oven to 350 degrees. After you preheat the oven to 350 degrees, you will take your first mixing bowl. Here. I'm going to take this one right here. And we are going to add both of our sugars and our butter and our egg. So first we'll take our unsalted butter, add it to the bowl.
Softened unsalted butter.
Softened unsalted butter.
This
So
has
yeah,
got
you
to
want
be
to
hands down the worst part of the mixing right here. You really have to get in there and get that butter clumps out.
Steven's gonna get 1/4 cup of white sugar, and I'll do 1 cup of brown sugar.
Oh,
And you
the
wanna-
ebony and ivory of it all.
Yes.
We're keeping all of this in.
And then we will add our 1 egg.
Throw it in there. It doesn't matter if the shells get mixed in. It actually adds character.
It's not any character. We
And then we will go ahead and mix this on low. And if you're doing it by hand,
KitchenAid, good luck.
it'll be fine. If you don't have a hand mixer or KitchenAid, you can just mix it with a good old wooden spoon or any spoon that you got.
I hope you have a lot of siblings. Take turns.
Seriously.
So you want to mix it until it's nicely incorporated. Sometimes the butter gets stuck in like the mixer, so you can use like a little spatula to get it out.
The best way to know if you're doing this right is to eat as you go. So I know it's kind of clumped up.
It should look like this.
Nice.
It look like this, nicely mixed. Now we are gonna go in with the other bowl. So we have our wet ingredients in here. We're gonna add some dry ingredients. Baby, you're gonna get 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour in here.
1.5.
Also in there,
God damn it.
you want a 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Now this is the part of the mixing that's not that bad.
You also want to add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
So is this a recipe that you have kind of gotten off the internet and reworked and reformulated, or is this straight off the works of
Oh, we
somebody else?
freestyling, baby.
We're not freestyling. So there's like recipes that I've used in the past, and then they're not like 100% perfect. So I like changed a couple things. The original recipe is only 1 teaspoon of baking soda, but now I do 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and baking powder. One of the recipes like called to like refrigerate the dough, which I don't think you need to do anymore. Also, one of the recipes called for melted butter instead of softened butter, but the melted butter makes the
They just
cookie
didn't
a
wanna
little
mix
bit
it.
too crispy. So I do softened butter.
Yeah, let us know down low. This is more of a soft kind of cookie versus a crispy cookie, but I know people like crispy cookies.
Next, you want to do pumpkin pie spice, and you want to do 1 1/4 teaspoon. Smells like fall already. And then you want to carefully mix that together with your wooden spoon.
Easy. This is usually around the time when I start sweating. The oven's preheated and it calls for some arm work. It's a whole workout.
All right. So next, you want to go back to your wet mixture, so in your other bowl, and you want to add in the vanilla and the pumpkin puree. And we're going to need 5 tablespoons pumpkin puree. And we need 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Look at that. Look at it.
Doesn't smell the best, honestly.
Doesn't look or taste the best either.
pumpkin puree.
Back to your wet mixture.
Now, is this something you could substitute if you wanted to taste different? Get like
Um,
a Prairie or something else? If you want it to be, I don't know, some other type of flavor?
I have no idea. If you don't have pumpkin puree, you can honestly omit it from the recipe, and I'm pretty sure you could still get a good pumpkin flavor from the pumpkin spice. But I think it tastes better with the real
How many
pumpkin
did
in
I
there.
put? Chat. How many did I just put in there?
How many did you put?
Right, chat?
Oh no, you're supposed to put it in the wet ingredients.
Why this ain't wet no more? This ain't dry no more.
Oh no. All right, don't make this mistake like we just did, but the pumpkin should be in the wet ingredients. Oh no. That's okay. Just move it over. Some people don't like to do separate bowls. I'm not a baker. I'm not a crazy baker, so I don't really know the benefits of keeping wet and dry separate in the beginning. But they say to. So
You know how they be talking.
after you add your vanilla and your pumpkin puree in the wet ingredients, so wet, I said wet, everybody. Then you want to mix it again in your mixer. Mixing, everyone. Dance break. Sometimes you just gotta like on the edges of your bowl, push it down so that it.
Gets reincorporated.
All right. So then once that's mixed very well, you want to add your dry ingredients into your wet ingredients.
Nice.
Oh,
No harm, no
watch
foul.
the mic.
Oh.
So I like to do it in parts. I'll do like half of the dry first and then half again once it's mixed.
All based on science.
All right. I'm going to add the other half.
Just for you guys listening or watching, we will have the ingredients and slight instructions in the descriptions below. Or feel free to go ahead and rewatch, pause, slow down for any of your delicious cookie desires.
So we're mixing.
Oh yeah. It's beginning to look a lot like autumn.
All right. So our dough is nice and mixed up. Have kind of like a dough mixture. We'll add our last ingredient.
Love.
Now it's time to eat the dough.
Just to see if you're making it right.
Let's try the dough.
Does that mean?
Ugh.
That tastes great.
Nice.
All right. Your mixture should now be a dough. Should look like that. And the last ingredient is chocolate chips. So typically people will do semi-sweet chocolate chips, which I have. I like to do semi-sweet and milk chocolate. So I do about half and half. So I think the recipe calls for a cup. I'll do a half cup of both.
Can never have too much chocolate until it's too much.
I saw someone put white chocolate in their pumpkin chocolate chip cookies.
That sounds
Very
pretty
intrigued.
good.
Very intrigued by that.
Would you do all white chocolate or half and half?
I probably would want to try both ways. I added my chocolate chips in there, and what you want to do is you want to fold them in with a spoon because you don't want it to
Fold
be
in.
too mixed.
And that goes to Michael. That's too mixed. That's too mixed.
So now our dough is ready. And now we will put it on the baking sheet. Pop it in the oven. So here we have our baking sheet pre-lined with some parchment paper. And we got our dough. And you're just going to do about medium-sized balls.
Do you think people who are vegan don't use parchment paper.
Probably.
What's your
Probably
alternative?
vegan. Butter on the baking sheet.
Oh, what a life.
Butter, not also an animal product.
It is, but you can do like fake butter.
I
I
mean,
mean, I
vegan
can't
butter.
believe it's not.
So you want to space them out accordingly, like so, because once you pop them in the oven, they will expand. You want them all to cook very evenly.
Yeah, you want them about like 1 inch apart. And if you use melted butter, probably want to do like 1.5 inches apart because the melted butter will make the
They
cookie
really flatten
expand
out.
a lot more. Yeah. Some people like a flattened
Crispy
crispy
cookie.
cookie. So
Much like Tate's cookies.
You don't like the ice cream scooper technique?
I find that even if you use the ice cream scooper and you try to make it circle, they typically end up circle anyway.
Nice. A solid 12 cookies with room to grow.
Definitely could make
Almost a 20
Another
probably
eight.
like another like
That's
like
a 20 piece.
6 more pieces.
But
So if
that
you want to find out how your
How-
ingredients are mixing, usually throughout the process, you have about this much to eat to test out. Need to add anything.
I wouldn't eat
eight
all of that.
full 8 full cookies worth of dough.
So here's what they look like. This is a trick that I saw someone do. So like you have like a perfect chocolate chip top. You'll add like a few chocolate chips like right on top. Just add a couple pieces right on top and they bake on top and I don't know, aesthetics. So now they're ready for the oven.
Here
Go.
we go.
All right. So now we will have them in the oven for 12 to 18 minutes, depending on your oven. I would go probably like 13.
So while those are baking, we're going to transition over to the topic of making the best out of the fall season. So what would you guys do to make the best out of the fall time here?
But I think to like really enjoy the fall because sometimes the weather doesn't always cooperate. And also you are so busy and you can't just like go out and do all these activities. You can make it fall in your own home. So if you're watching YouTube, you can see I got some fall decor. And even though it's literally 85 degrees outside, feels fall in here. So I would honestly invest in some fall decor. At Target, I bought literally like 8 different pumpkins for like $15. And you could buy some flowers in the fall colors at Jewel. I think those were like $10. So you don't have to spend too much. And you can go to the Dollar Tree. I heard the Dollar Tree has stepped it up in terms of decorations. So highly recommend just investing in some nice fall decor and decorating your space so your home feels very fall and autumny. You can honestly go straight into Halloween. I know a lot of people go straight into Halloween, but I'll do like a little bit of fall only. Then I'll bring in my Halloween. And then once Halloween's over, I take it out and then I have my regular fall items for the Thanksgiving vibe. So I definitely think the best way to make out of the fall
One of my
is
favorite
decor.
parts is when your scents and candles and soaps, they all kind of change with the season. And
They do.
it's got a nice nice little smell to it, whether you are washing your hands or you're just sitting in the living room.
I love scents. Think scents make you remember a certain type of season. When you smell it, you get into the mood. Has a lot to do with your emotions. So I like to go to a good old Bath and Body Works and buy some fall scents. Sweater weather is my favorite. But for
Oh,
soap,
I am is a
for, s-
man.
for soap, for kitchen sink soap, dish soap, Myers has a good apple cider dish soap and it smells amazing. It's right here behind me. For the hand soap, this sounds really weird. Like you don't want like a pumpkin smelling soap, but it doesn't really have a pumpkin smell. But it's called Sweet Cinnamon Pumpkin, and it smells so good. Trust me. The lotion and the soap, sweet cinnamon pumpkin from Bath and Body Works, so good.
Fall definitely has that. I don't know. I mean, even like with work itself, I feel like things tend to get slower during the summer. And so they kind of pick back up during the fall. And then as a student, you obviously have summer break. And then boom, you're back into the fall. So having these little things that kind of they feel more of like an event, or you make your house feel more fall, or like you're transitioning to the holiday season, to really kind of pick you up from like almost like now we got to go back to work.
I was gonna say one of the best things about the fall time, Crystal and Jen had mentioned it earlier, is that it gets cooler out. I know a lot of people don't like to spend their time outside during the summer because of how hot and muggy, or all the bugs that are out, allergies, seasonal allergies, things like that. In the fall, all of that almost just disappears. You go out, it's nice and breezy, nice and cool. You can enjoy a walk. You won't sweat too much, things like that. There aren't too many mosquitoes out anymore, so they're almost feeling like non-existent. And the air, the air quality is so different. You can just breathe out there. I know I go out there and I have seasonal allergies when there's flowers looming around, or if even if it just freshly rained, some of the allergens are still looming, and I get a little stuffy. But in the fall, all that is gone. You get to breathe some real clean, fresh, breezy, cold oxygen. It's great. Feels great.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to go outdoors during the fall because if you're a hiker, like it's not fun to hike in like 90-degree weather because you're like literally sweating and dying and the sun is beaming. But in the fall, get a nice breeze. You can wear a sweater, still working up a sweat, but you got that nice breeze to cool you down. So like I feel like hiking or like going on long like nature walks is really good for like the fall season.
Something like playing basketball and like just throwing the football around. It's nice
Okay.
when it's cooler. Those activities are a little easier than they would be if it was beaming hot. It just kind of takes drains you out from your activity.
Yeah, I like to spend my time outside a little bit more in the fall time. It's nice to just go for a little nature walk, like Crystal said. We just recently started walking on this bike path, this little nature trail they have in the middle of Chicago. I can't wait to see what it looks like once the leaves start changing, things like that. It gets a little bit cooler out. It's going to be pretty exciting.
So if you guys don't really know what to do during the fall to like get into the fall spirit, definitely just research random things in your area. They often have like fall themed events. Like I know in like some of the Chicago neighborhoods they'll have like fall farmers market. They have like mini Oktoberfest where you can go like buy tickets and drink beer, and they also have like typically at like zoos, if there's a zoo around you, they'll have like fall events. If you're in a city, they have like park district events. So randomly there was a park district by Steven and I one fall, and it was literally like a fall fest for like parents and their children. We went. We don't have children. We're not parents, but we went and it was a good time. You get to see they have like pumpkins and they had like rides and stuff.
Yeah, it was
So
like a community hangout. They were, playing music. They had a few grills going, so they had ballpark food, things like that, hot dogs, burgers, grilled corn, and they also had, yeah, some activities. I think they had a little pumpkin patch installment where you can kind of go around and pick your own pumpkin. They also had the playground, like kind of dressed up in some Halloween fall colors. It was kind of cool because we didn't have children, and that was more for the children. But it was a great time.
in addition to like pumpkin patches and fall apple orchards, they do have like wine tasting events during this time because it's like harvest season for grapes too. So you can also see if there's
Oh
any
yeah.
like vineyards in your area and go for wine tasting. That's also a nice fall event. But yeah, I would just like research what you have in your area, what's between 30 minutes to an hour around you. I'm sure you guys can find something to enjoy the fall season.
And
Uh,
just like that,
Cookies are going off. We're gonna check.
er,
The cookies are ready.
damn. Don't get too excited. The trick to to baking cookies is to make sure they have proper time to rest. I'm just talking out of pocket here. I am not a baker. Full disclosure, you might be able to eat them straight out of the oven. I don't know for sure.
Few moments later.
All right, our cookies are done cooling. So you can, when they're done cooling, they should pretty much rip off the parchment paper. But if you don't have parchment paper, you could use a spatula and just spatula your cookie off.
I'm going to take a bite here.
Drum roll, please. You might be saying, how is it just watch it? Like, I don't want to just watch cookie eating, but that's what I'm doing. So you guys are joining me in our cookie watching
Mhm.
eating experience.
These are pretty good. Chocolate chips. And then you get like a strong smack of pumpkin. Pretty good.
It has a little bit of a crisp, nice crispiness, but not too crispy.
The medium rare insides. Well, Crystal says she wants to eat the rest of these cookies, so we are hopping off here. Just to summarize the episode here, we talked about our favorite things in fall, our favorite fall activities, and all the pumpkin patches that we've experienced, and how much fun we have making the best out of the fall season. Thanks for tuning in and watching us bake some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies. And with that, we are now off the line. Bye.
Bye. See you guys next time.
Now, if you like episodes like that and you want to see more episodes like that, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button down below on YouTube. If you're listening to us, make sure you just check out our Spotify every so often, I guess, and maybe a new episode has come out. Thanks again for watching, and if you do like that baking segment, you want to see some more baking segments, just let us know. Otherwise, why would we do it? And make sure you follow us at We Are On The Line. Thanks again. Peace. Now, what button do I press?
Did I do that?